Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Luke Branquinho Show.
I got fined like $2,000 for harassment and $1,000 for intimidation. So that was $3,000 that night. I guess so. They're intimidated by a 5'6" guy. I don't know how that's possible.
Hey, hit that subscribe button now. You're going to like it. Welcome to the Luke Branquinho Show. Today's guest is a young, and when I mean young, superstar in the bareback riding. Rocker Steiner, thanks for joining me, bud.
Thanks for having me, Luke. How are you doing?
Man, doing good. I'm truly excited about talking to you about this because I've got to watch a lot of your life through social media on your folks' Instagram, and started off wakeboarding, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Some of the stuff you did on the wakeboard at such a young age was damn impressive. And, when you're riding wakeboards, when did you think, okay, I want to be a bareback rider?
I was like, so I was a wakeboarder from the time I was 7 or 8 to 15. I honestly didn't even really know what bareback riding was or really follow rodeo. I always obviously knew that my granddad and dad were world champions, but I never followed rodeo. Or I was about 13 whenever I found out about it, and kind of figured that that's what I wanted to do. So,
well, you had some obviously you come from a long line of rodeo family. Your dad, world champion steer wrestler. Your granddad, Bobby, a world champion bull rider. Your great granddad, Tommy, contractor, and great granddad Buck was also a rodeo contractor. So I mean, it was in your blood to be in the arena.
Yeah, for sure. At a young age, I didn't know that it was, but it caught up with me, and I'm glad it did.
Well, you've taken the bareback riding world by storm, and I know you've had some good guys helping you along the way, which, your dad and grandpa, but some of your mentors, some guys that came out and helped you out, Casey Field, Tilden Hooper, how many of them guys came out there and helped you along?
I mean, honestly, about every single one of them. I told the guys at the finals this year, at the bareback riding dinner, that they were every single one that I was up at the finals with had an impact on my career and helped me when I was little, and it was cool to be there with them. And from Clayton Bigelow to Tilden Hooper, Mason Clements, Casey Field, Wes Stevenson. He's an old bareback rider. I say he's gonna be pissed off at me for that one. But there's been so many people. Even like Ty Murray. He's really been the one that helped me get started from the day one, and Larry Mahan, and he's been talking to Baba every day since I pretty much started. So, from the guys that are going now to a generation behind me, and 15 generations behind me has helped me.
Well, and again, that helped, but you had the want, the drive, the determination, and we've seen that all year long. I mean, championships at Calgary. I'm just looking at the sheet here. There's so many: Ellensburg, Washington, Helena, Springdale, Pleasant Grove, Fallon, Nevada, Odessa. These are rodeos that you don't really see a rookie's name by because of the top talent that is there. And you dominated at these rodeos. You set the world record at the Riggin Rally up there, in Montana. And that horse, Virgil, is not just a day off for anybody. 90-point rides, but you set the world record on him. So congratulations on that. But it just goes to show that what you put into it and what you get out of it is to be true. You put so much effort, so much time, energy into it, and we've seen it. Going into the NFR and to your first national finals in rookie year, it's pretty incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a lot of luck at the big rodeos, and thankfully I won a handful of big rodeos. I always try to make the big ones count. When there's a lot of money, I try not to screw up. So yeah, I always try to ride my best at the big ones and make sure it counted, because I was hurt for a lot of the season, so I had to, if I wanted to make the finals, I kind of had to show up and show out at the big ones, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, you came back towards the fall, right?
Yeah, so I got hurt at Houston, so I missed out on like the short round of Austin, San Angelo, Red Bluff. I went to Clovis, and it was like I guess I cracked back out at Clovis, but it was terrible. My knee was not ready, and I went to Guyman, and something else, and I really didn't. My knee really wasn't ready until about a week before I set the record on Virgil. So that was about on Virgil was about my first ride that I ever made good again.
Well, that's a good horse to pick to feel good on and get that score on. I mean, your injury with your knee, did it give you time to say, okay, the winter was good, I had success, I have a chance to make the finals, now I'm hurt, but just sit back and kind of, I guess, see how the winter treated you and carry that on? You got to think about that, carry that on when you went back to riding again.
I really didn't get to go to as many big winter rodeos. I didn't go to Fort Worth or San Antonio. Luckily, I did good at Odessa, so I could get into Houston, and so Houston really gave me a lot of confidence. And I got second at Houston, and whenever I was hurt, I was just kind of at least my mind was at ease that I knew that I could compete with those guys. So I knew that as long as I could get my knee healthy, that I could make it to the finals. But I think I had like 30 grand right after Houston, so I had a good first winter. I want to have a better one this year, obviously, but it was good enough. I knew that if I had a good summer, I could make it pretty easily.
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody's going to doubt your ability to do that. I mean, have you had any luck so far this winter? Have you been anywhere?
Yeah, I went to Denver. Denver was my first one back since after the finals. I won my semi round, and then this is the first time this has ever happened, but in the short round, I drew a horse called Dream Machine, and I've been 88, 91, and 84 at the finals on it. And I drew it in the short round, and there was like an 88, 89 and a half. So I was like, I'm gonna send it. Like, we're going for the win. So I ran my rig and like super high up on its withers, so that I could like open up more. I guess, I don't know, but I pulled it, and there's like one guy ahead of me, and I like pushed my rigging forward, and it kind of like moved forward, and I was like, ooh. Well, the first jump, it slipped up on its neck, and my rigging slipped, and I thought I would give it a go for like 2 more jumps, and then it started to slip even more and was going over its head, so I got off and almost got kicked in the head. So no luck in the short round, but I think I won like $6,500 out of there or something like that. So
yeah, good first rodeo, and then Fort Worth coming up, and a lot of these big Texas winter rodeos, and there's no again, everybody has you picked to be one of their favorites for this year, and rightfully so. But I want to talk about your emotion, because I rodeoed with your dad, and he was full of emotion, and people talked about it at the national finals and talked about it all year long. And talk to us, tell the fans about that emotion and where it comes from and how it keeps you going forward.
Obviously, we know what you mean by the emotion of the finals. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and say, I did something stupid in Pendleton and got myself in a wheelchair for a month, and was on crutches for 3 weeks. This was 2 months before the finals, so I had a lot of healing to do and a lot of work to do if I wanted to compete at the finals. So I pushed myself pretty much as hard as my body would let me, and I probably pushed myself a little bit farther than my body would let me. But a lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into just getting myself ready to even put my back number on at the finals. And whenever you do that, you're just pushing yourself. So whenever I showed up, I was looking for a win, and I was looking for a world buckle, and I was making really good rides, and I saw people, not saying any names, but I saw people getting scored better than I was, and I felt like I rode better and had better horses, and I just really wasn't. The first 4 nights I never won a check, and I like that horse Dream Machine that I had at Denver. I was 88, 91, and then I stepped off and was 84, and I was obviously like, I made the same ride, and there's so much built up anger of me hurting myself, being in a wheelchair. I'm ready to win money. I'm ready to win a gold buckle, and then that happens. And as a young kid, it's hard not to lose your temper whenever you work that hard. And I wouldn't take it back. It happened, but I definitely lost my cool, and oh well, I guess that comes with the territory.
Shoes are ordinary. Cowboy boots are an American icon. As the largest Western and workwear retailer in the nation, Boot Barn proudly supports those who feed America, build America, and protect America. They celebrate American values of honesty, hard work, ingenuity, and perseverance above all else. Boot Barn has an uncompromising desire to empower and support the communities they serve. Their vision is simple: to offer everyone a piece of the American spirit, one handshake at a time. Boot Barn, keep west.
Well, you're exactly right. And I mean, I've felt those emotions myself. In 2014, had surgery in September, was winning the world, up to that point, and then get hurt at Salinas and have to bust my ass to try to be ready for the national finals. And every doctor except the one that operated on me said, hey, 6 to 8 months. I said, I had 4. I have 4 months to get this done. So you do put the blood, sweat, and tears. You do put the work. I mean, you put everything you can to get to step foot in that arena and be successful. So I understand where you're coming from, especially if you feel like you're making great rides on good horses and you don't see the scores that you think you should have. So, I mean, I get it, but there's so many people out there, and maybe old school, old traditions, that don't understand that emotion. They just want you to get off your horse and walk out the side gate and get on your next one. Well, that's not how we're wired. And I know that's not how you're wired. I know that's not how your dad was wired. We want to win every time we step foot in that arena.
Yeah. A lot of, I've seen a lot of comments on Facebook, and a lot of people have told me that I'm not a cowboy. Cowboys don't act like that and stuff. Well, all I can say is if you, like Joe Beaver says, if you show me a good loser, I'll show you a loser. And I was the first guy out that day. So it wasn't like somebody was 88 points and I was 84 and I was pissed off that I wasn't winning. No, I was the first guy out that day. And whenever you have 14 other of the best guys in the world, whenever you hear 84 points at the national finals, you're not going to win anything. I got off, felt I made a really good ride. That horse took a little bit of run. I knew I wasn't going to be like 90 points or anything, but I was expecting a better score than 84. But I stepped off and was celebrating, and then you could see in my face I wasn't too happy whenever they called out the score. But, that just comes with wanting to win. I'm super competitive, and I worked my ass off to win. And whenever you hear a score that you're not going to even win a check, it's frustrating, especially as a 18-year-old kid at the time.
And I know this was a question that I think everybody knows. I don't know the answer to it, but how much did you get fined at the National Finals Rodeo? And the reason I ask, because I feel like some of those fines that they do at the finals are a bunch of bullshit. So, how much did they tack you for?
So that night the first night I got fined for not getting out of the arena fast enough. And then the next night I got fined for not being ready. I don't know, but they fine you for literally anything. That night really wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, because I walked in the locker room and I was like, guys, I'm about to have to stroke a check to pay this fine. But I got fined $2,000 for harassment and $1,000 for intimidation. So that was $3,000 that night. I guess so. They're intimidated by a 5'6" guy. I don't know how that's possible. So I got fined $2,000 for harassment and $1,000 for intimidation. And I looked on the fine sheet the next day, and Clay Smith got fined $3,000 for harassment. And I was like, damn, they think he's better than me? He harasses better than I do, apparently. I was like, I want to know what the hell he did.
Yeah, no, they can get pretty rank on those fines, man. So what was the total?
It was $9,000 at the end of it.
Holy cow.
Yeah, 95. I think it was 9,500. And I texted Cody Ole the other day, because everybody's like, you didn't beat Cody Ole in the fine record. And I texted him, I was like, how much did you ever get fined at the finals? He said $10,000. I was like, damn, you got me by 500.
Out of my 15 or 14 years, I have got 0 fines there.
Really?
Yeah, I was a choir boy, man. I take that back. They tried to fine me, but I got it taken away, and I don't even remember what it was for. Maybe taking too long in the box, or like I said, it's an event that they try to rush the Cowboys through, which I absolutely hate, because we're the ones there trying to make a living.
Everybody asked me if I was nervous to ride. No, I was not nervous to ride one bit. Pulling your rigging in those back pins is literally the most impossible thing in the world. And they run so fast that you're back there, and there's the wall, and then there's the panels to where your horse is, so you can pull on the right side of your rigging, but you can't pull on the left side of the rigging because there's a wall. So you really can't pull your rigging, so you have to wait till you're in the chute to pull. Well, whenever your horse runs in the chute, they're 3 guys to you. You're and they want you to have your glove on 3 guys ahead. So they run your horse in, your rigging's not pulled, and they're put your glove on. You're And meanwhile, you have everybody at every rodeo, like a bronc rider helps you, or a bull rider, or whatever. But no, they're all in the grand entry, so you have nobody to help you.
Right.
And then they fine you for not being ready, like $250, and then the next day it's $500.
Yeah,
Oh,
doubles.
Man. Oh yeah. So I mean, they rush you so hard, and then they fine you. They're like, gotcha.
So after your round incidents and all that, the emotion, was there anybody in the bareback riding locker room that came to you and said, "Hey, let's go down this path so you're not labeled going this way"? Or was everybody they were all good with it?
Nobody ever really said anything to me. I mean, I'm sure guys said things, but I don't know if they're bad. I don't know what anybody thought. I showed up the next day and had cornrows, and
I remember seeing that.
Yeah, that happened, and then I was like, seriously, how can I piss some people off? And I was like, cornrows.
I remember your dad, the year he won the world, cornrows in his hair, and the people were just freaking out on TV. Oh, look at this guy, and I was like, whatever you want to say about him, Sid Steiner is a badass, and he can get it on with cornrows, with a shaved head, with baggy pants, with bell-bottom pants. But I don't care. Is badass, and you come and showed that the next night with your cornrows.
Yeah, actually the 5th round with cornrows is actually the first night that I won a check. I won 5th. I was like, well, we did a little bit better. And then the 6th round, I took seriously, because I looked at pictures and I was like, I looked bald. I looked like a midget with the cornrows, and I was like, we can't do this. So I took the top out and had somewhat of a mohawk. So then I won that round, the next round. So
did you get a headache from them?
Oh man, I couldn't sleep.
It hurts, doesn't it?
Oh, my eyebrows were pulled up. Oh man, it hurt so bad. Back to your question, nobody said anything. Nobody tried to correct me. They never said not to do that. I'm sure some of them were thinking it, but nobody. They just kind of let me do my deal. And the next couple rounds, I was pretty quiet. So
well, you stuck to yourself and started getting some cash and winning some money. And man, that's good. What about you guys were down in Bastrop though? When I was rodeoing, went down there with your dad. You guys were down there. You're in Weatherford now, and Taylor Sheridan's a neighbor of yours. You guys are close with him. You were on the show. How cool was it to be on that Yellowstone?
Man, honestly, filming, it was really different. If you say even as a joke that you needed something, somebody shows up with it, and it's like, hey, I could have got it myself. But that world is just so different. You have to, you watch a 2-hour-long movie, and you have no idea how long that, because you seriously, each take, I sat in that shoot for 30 minutes because we had to do it. And whenever I walk up to the shoots, I look pissed off, and I honestly was, because that was about the 100th time I walked up to that horse, and it was crazy. Seriously, we did it so many times, and a lot of work goes into that. And the Yellowstone crew was actually, everybody is super cool. The cast was awesome. The crew was badass. Everybody's super nice, and they really do respect our way of life and what we do. And some of them may not understand it very good, but they appreciate it, and they know what goes into it. And Taylor Sheridan, he loves the cowboy way of life. He lives it. And everybody says, Yellowstone, they're not real cowboys. They show a calf hitting the ground at 8 weeks or whatever and runs off. I'm like, well, they're not making the show for cowboys. They're making it for the world to see, and that's what they understand. So they might get some bad things said about them, but I love everything they're doing. And cowboy hat sales are through the damn roof.
Oh yeah.
Resistol can't even keep hats on the shelves because of it. And everybody, whenever you walk through the airport, if you have a cowboy hat on, everybody's like, you watch Yellowstone? Everybody knows what Yellowstone is. So I think it's really helping the rodeo world. And but it was awesome to be a part of it. I had no idea that it was going to be that big whenever I was on it. Seriously, I had to turn my phone off for a month.
Well, since you were on it, and I get asked this a lot, could I be a Rip stunt double?
You kind of look, if you had a little bit bigger beard, yeah, you could, for sure.
That might be. I'm unemployed really right now since I don't rodeo anymore. So,
didn't you go as Rip for Halloween?
I did. No, did I? Yeah, I did one year.
Yeah, I think I saw a picture of that.
I think so. That's right. Yes, I did. That. I don't remember. It was my wife's idea. She always has the great ideas.
I never thought about that. You kind of do look like Rip.
Yeah. Well, thank you. But yeah, you're right about the cowboy hats. We went to London before the finals, and Lindsay and I wore my cowboy hat everywhere, and I got that asked several times, about Yellowstone, about the cowboy way of life. Just anywhere I go, I try to to wear it and represent the cowboy way of life like you guys do. But speaking of family, again, I'm going to go back to that. Your sister Steely, barrel racer, has she been having any luck? I know your folks support her just as much as they support you.
She's been running really good. She still has some problems every once in a while, but she did good at made a good run at Denver. In the second run, she hit a barrel, but heck, last year she won as much money as you can win at Tucson. She's had good luck this year. You know, she's gonna have better luck this year, and I'm thinking she's gonna make the finals, and I think she does too. So, you know, she just has to kind of catch fire, and just like anybody else, that event is seriously the hardest event out of everything. I mean, it's crazy how many good horses there are and how many good girls there are running, and I mean, it's way harder than bareback riding. If I had to do that, there's no way I'd make it. But she works with her horses every day. I think she's going to do good this year, and well, I know she is. And she didn't have the year that she wanted this year, but like I said, it's going to be better this year.
Yeah, and I think everybody's looking forward to that. I remember I haven't seen your dad in forever, and then we were at the American, I think last year, 2 years ago, and she qualified into AT&T, and you know, that had to have been a cool feeling for her, and know that she belongs there with the top girls, and you know, looking forward to seeing obviously her career take off, and yours is already skyrocketing to the moon, and you're going to be as successful as you want to be, and a gold buckle is, you know, in your future, and I think it's coming before a lot of people will know it. So congratulations on a great year last year. Good luck this year, man. Looking forward to seeing you dominate again.
Thank you, appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks for coming on the show. I'm going to get you on again later this year and tell us how the summer's going.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, man. Take care. Tell everybody hello.
All right, you too. See ya.
Thanks, bud. Hi, Leroy. Please don't fart. I think he actually rolled in cow shit. I'd let him lick my face even if he ate it.